Hey guys, welcome back to Likewise. It's Sam, and I hope you're excited for another minisode today. Not only one from me, but one from Issa as well. We are just so excited to keep doing minis again. Like last month, this month, it is months of minis, and it's just fun to kind of sit down and talk on our own sometimes. This week, we are both talking about the same thing, which is not what we usually do when we do minis, so it's a little more special than others, and we're both going to be talking about aging, but I can assure you we will be talking about it in two completely different ways, and so there's definitely a lot to gain from listening to both of our episodes. So definitely, if you have not listened to Issa's yet, go listen to hers after mine, and if you're here from Issa's, hi. I hope you loved her episode. I'm sure it's so great. We're both, I think, recording them today or tomorrow, so I haven't gotten a chance to listen to hers yet, obviously. And I'm just so excited to give you my take on all things aging today. This kind of was sparked by the fact that my birthday was this month, which was really exciting. I talked about it a little bit last week because we recorded on my birthday, but what better to talk about when your birthday rolls around than if you feel older, if you actually feel wiser, and more importantly, if you feel hotter than ever. And something I did actually think I think I actually do feel older. Recently, I've just been questioning a lot. I'm like, have I been feeling my frontal lobe developing in real time? Like, have I been feeling it? And I've asked some of my friends who are older than me, I'm like, hey, did you feel it? Did you know? Like, when did you know? All this stuff. And I know I'm still very early on to that. It's probably not developing that much, but like it definitely is in some ways. And they told me, like, in retrospect, I can pinpoint moments that I know where I was probably fully developed, but like in the moment I would not have thought or I would not have known. I was like, that's a very interesting perspective. So yes, birthdays. I think birthdays are a great place to start when talking about aging. And something that I was thinking about in the days leading up to my birthday is, almost the negative side of birthdays, or like, so many people are like, I don't like my birthday, I don't like looking forward to birthdays, like they just don't jive with birthdays. And I've always loved my birthday and whatnot. The one thing I did not like about my birthday growing up was that it was during the summer and I didn't get to like see all my friends at school, which is why I like love going to work on my birthday now. But what I really want to be talking about is like the whole aspect of like the anticipation of your birthday, and it's kind of like a peak girlhood thing to cry on your birthday. I feel like that's something we all joke about is like, oh, I always end up crying on my birthday, and it's like in so many ways. Obviously, could be sad, could be happy, could be neither. Just so many of us have this experience of crying on your birthday for whatever reason. And I think part of that is just the pressure and the expectation to sometimes be performing for other people on your birthday when it is supposed to be about you. It's almost like a wedding where is it really for the couple getting married or is it for the guests? Like so much of everything going on is for the guests, even though it's supposed to be the couple's big day. That's almost kind of what happens with birthdays too. Like you kind of need to almost be performing or, just have on the happy face and be excited and happy the whole day and want to have a party, want to do things with friends. And for a lot of people, maybe you don't actually wake up feeling like you want to do those things, and just because it is your birthday, it is this special day, your body doesn't necessarily know that, and maybe you're still feeling like down in the dumps, or you're still like kind of in a slump and you're moving slow, and like it's not something that's just gonna magically be a perfect day. And so I just think that's very much a common experience, is experiencing not only all the positive emotions but lots of negative emotions on birthdays. I think for some people it's a day that reminds them of the past so much because you always think about what you're doing or what you have done on your past birthdays. Like for me this year, I did the exact same thing on my birthday this year that I did last year on my birthday. And but just like with a different group of people. And it did make me think about my birthday last year, made me think about how different my relationships are with the people who I did those things with last year. Last year I did my birthday celebrations with a friend group that is very much not my friend group anymore. And it was just weird. I think this year to be doing it with a very healthy friend group now and people I like really cared about surrounding myself with. Whereas like last year, I feel like I was doing it with people I felt like I had to surround myself with. And was constantly kind of in like these negative, centered things for our friendship. Like our entire friendship in that friend group was built around negativity, and it was very hateful and not healthy. And now with my friends now, it's very healthy and fun and caring. And so it was very like bittersweet, I think, on my birthday, being like, dang, this is exactly what I did last year. But of course it's what I did last year because it's what I want to be doing on my birthday. At the end of the day, the activities, like where I went to dinner and what I did after, it was very me, and it's things that I love and wanted to do. And the only difference was people I was surrounding myself with and the feelings I had of doing it. But I think I still, this year on my birthday, like when it came time to go do the things, I did still get like a little bit of anxiety around it being like, I don't know, just fearing like the way I felt last year for it. And just really hoping that I don't look back and have the same experience again. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of just rambling. I didn't really make notes for this because I kind of wanted to just go off the dome and share my raw thoughts about birthdays and my birthday. But I do think that kind of feeds into an important conversation about like aging and growing up. And it's something Issa and I have talked about a lot before, is like when you get older, you almost have more power over the people you surround yourself with, the people you're friends with. Like it will be way more intentional about who you're friends with than you maybe were when you were younger. Because a lot of your friendships when you were growing up were because you're in the same class, you live in the same neighborhood, you take dance together, you play the same sport together. Like your friends are always like, I don't want to call them convenience friends, but they're like people that you just spend so much time with that you just naturally were friends because you were almost supposed to be. And that's where you're supposed to find your friends when you're younger. But then when you're older, after you've parted ways from a lot of those friends and you've gone maybe to different colleges and you're working different careers and you realize you have different values and just outlooks on life from all those other people that you grew up with and were friends with because you were kids and you were around each other all the time. Now that you're older, you have the opportunity to meet a lot of people who share the same values, life outlooks, everything as you, and befriend them. And I think that is really interesting with growing up. A lot of people hit a point where they're like, oh, I feel like I've outgrown my old friends, or I'm having a hard time making new friends. Like being in your transitional phases of your life is so hard because it's all about navigating relationships, and where it gets really hard is because at the same time as you're trying to navigate all your relationships with people around you, you are also at a crucial time of self-discovery and navigating your relationship with yourself. And so these kind of get blurred together, they affect each other, because when you're surrounding yourself with people who might not be the best friends for you, that's going to affect your view of self, and you might just like, it might affect your mental very, very badly. And so it's like it's like a hamster wheel, like you're stuck running in it, trying to heal and explore and grow new relationships while also healing, exploring, and growing your relationship with yourself. Wow. I feel profound. But no, actually, it's kind of like those friendship breakups that kind of just like they fizzled out. Maybe younger year friendships that you just grew apart and they fizzled out and no drama ever happened. You're still technically friends. You might not ever really talk to them, but you interact on social media. I think we don't talk about these things a lot for the fear of like making other people uncomfortable, or like the fear of what other people would think if you talk about these things. It's like, oh, if I address it and I talk about it, the friend I'm still really close with who's still really close with them is gonna feel some type of way about it. Or they're gonna hear me talking about it and they're gonna think that I don't want to be their friend anymore. I don't know. I don't know how many people actually think that, but I think that sometimes it's like it's normal to have relationships that fizzle out and outgrowing friends and whatnot. But it's normal, and we don't talk about it in a way where we all address how it's normal and a common experience because we don't want to look like a bad person. Like, we won't talk about our shared experience in that regard because we fear how it will make us look. Like, I don't want to say, like, oh yeah, I've had all these friendships that fizzled out from when I was younger, and now I just have all these new friends that I met in the last 2 years of my life. Because I'm sure someone out there is going to think that I'm just a bad friend. Because they're going to be like, no, that hasn't happened to me. Because they're still friends with all their same friend group from high school. They're going to be like, yeah, no, that's just you, babes. You're just not a good friend, and you're making excuses as to why you're not in these friendships anymore. Once again, rambling. But yeah, I think it's fun to not fun, but fun to talk about these things with each other, and I think it's fun, like a good thing to talk about with your friends, like see their outlook on these things, because I think a lot of these feelings and experiences are the things that make people feel very lonely, especially in their early 20s when you are figuring all this stuff out. I think it is the things that make people feel really lonely when you could find that your friend also relates and you are in it together, figuring life out. So, back to the idea of like exploring and developing and growing your relationship with yourself and your perception of yourself, your love for yourself, all this stuff. I think something with aging and growing up is like changing your mindset on how you look back at your younger self. Obviously, it is important to recognize the things that your younger self has done to get you to where you are now. So I think like a good journal prompt for your birthday is to like think about the things that have gotten you to where you're at right now. Like think about who you are right now. What are like the impactful years of past you that like you did things that got you here. I don't know. Going off the dome once again. But yeah, this year I've kind of just been thinking like, wow, really like shout out to my younger self because she got me here. But at the same time, recognizing I'm not the same person as my younger self necessarily, like in ways I am and in ways I'm not. But just like, yeah, shout out to my younger self. But I am allowed to and I can be a different person now. And I think that's important because sometimes I think we also feel the pull to like always have to be the same person as our younger self when we're allowed to change and evolve and grow. And it's not a bad thing to grow and become a different person. A lot of the time, it's good. But it's hard to not feel bad for leaving some of the old you behind in the past. So, I don't know what all this really was except a ramble, some of my feelings around my birthday or just things I've been thinking about around my birthday. If you want to know more of the actual things I was thinking about on my birthday, I did post on my book account like a 24 things on my mind as I turned 24. And that Instagram is at the Sam Louise Books. I posted that on there and thought it was kind of funny. It was silly, but real. Silly but real. And that's probably a good way to sum up this episode as well. Silly but real. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited for you to listen to our recap of our Utah trip next week, because tonight, right before I recorded this, I packed for the trip, so very, very excited, cannot wait. Issa and I are going to see each other, so we will have some new photos of us together, which will be so fun, and yeah, just cannot wait for next week's episode, and I hope you loved our minis. Bye!